Hi everyone, welcome to another studio vlog. So as you just saw, we have had a bit of an incident. Oh, we got a kitty. You hear visiting? Oh, sorry. Yeah, we got a rare visit from Sally. She's usually asleep during the day, so she isn't really that much on camera as much as she used to. She's an old lady now, she needs her sleep. Anyway, speaking of cats, so a few days ago we came down the stairs in the morning and we noticed these like scratchy stains on the floor. My very first thought was poop stains. Sometimes, very rarely, it happens that the cat steps in their own poop in the litter box and then they smear it all over the house, and it usually only happens if the poop is very loose. Sorry if you're eating while watching this, but from a closer inspection it turned out that it isn't poop, but also I had no idea what it could be. So as you saw in the video, we backtracked the scratchy stains which turned into paw prints, and then we followed the paw prints all the way to my mixing palette. One little kitty has been playing with the ink. I use black India ink for my Kattober art, and usually when I'm not using the ink I put it away on a safe place where the cats can't reach it, but apparently I must have forgot doing that. And the thing is, I'm not entirely sure of which cat it is. Going with my gut feeling, I am 100% sure that it is Fenix, because that's the kind of thing he would do. He's very curious, but I couldn't find any traces of ink on any of his paws. Keep in mind that this is very black and very permanent ink, and Fenix has very pink and very light paws, and yet I couldn't see any traces of ink. So either he's been cleaning his paws very thoroughly, or maybe it is Sally, but her paws are already black, so I wouldn't be able to see any ink on her paws anyways. It is a pretty big paw print, and Sally's got very small paws, which makes me believe that it might be Fenix anyway. And of course it had me worried that one of the cats has been eating ink when licking their paws, but both the cats seems to be fine. The ink was already a little bit diluted with water in the mixing palette, and also it seems like they walked off a lot of that ink on my furnitures and on the floor, so hopefully they didn't swallow that much ink. They seem to be fine, so I'm okay with that. Now I just think it's kind of cute actually having all of these paw prints everywhere. So yeah, what's new? I've been so busy. I've been working on Kattober, which I fell behind on since I had to work on other projects. Then I had to do a lot of catching up, so now I'm finally back on track again with the Kattober prompts. I've been working on the box art for my custom brush set, which I'm gonna show you later in this video. Now all the parts for the brush set is complete and will be ready to launch very soon, and I'm so excited. What else? Oh, I've been packing orders. My new 2026 calendar just launched and I've been getting a bunch of orders. It's available in my shop in 2 different sizes. I really needed those orders, so thank you so much. So yeah, I've been packing orders, I've been working on videos. So yeah, I have been quite busy, and then also on top of everything I got a cold. Luckily it was a very short and brief cold, very unusual for being me, but hey, I take it. So now we got that out of the way. So yeah, it's been a quite busy time, so I'm very happy that I finally have a bit of a downtime. I'm currently in between projects, so I can take it a little more easy and I can catch up on some other things. It's nice to have a bit of a breather before the next wave of projects. So Kitty has been moving from where I kept the ink all over my bookcase, putting a paw print there right next to the printer, and then across here over to the big printer, putting some prints over here, and I am definitely keeping this paper. And then up here across my notepads, look at this. I'm very glad though that he didn't step on even more things. From the notepads over the washi tape, and then he put another paw print in the in the plastic container where I keep the bookmarks. There he moves over the prints and down on my white drawers. What a mess. And then he's moving across all the way over there and then down on the floor and away. He even stepped inside here and put a paw print on one of the stickers. I haven't had a heart to remove the prints yet because honestly I think it is kind of cute. I will probably remove these, the bigger and more smeary ones, but these ones are so cute, so maybe I will just keep them here just for a little while. I'm pretty sure that the ink has already stained the white surface, and these ones though are not as pretty, so I will probably remove those too. Good thing you're a pretty kitty. As you may know by now, I am making a custom brush set together with Craftamo, and also a little reminder that this is the final finish of the paintbrush. The wood will be a little darker and not as orangey as that. And also we have made some minor adjustments, so the paintbrushes themselves are all done and they're currently in production. I've also finished the design for the box art because the paintbrushes comes in a packaging, a box, so I've done the design for that too. And this is what that looks like. We have a bunch of flowers, mushrooms, and of course a witchy little kitty. This is painted on hot pressed paper using the brush set and also the Kuretake Gansai Tambi paints. I also did a little bit of editing in Procreate where I added the whiskers and some highlights, just some other details to the rest of the art. And I left some room here for the logos Kattvalk and Craftamo. I wanted there to be nature, magic, and cats, and yeah, here we have it all. So we have the purple and teal of the paintbrushes, which I tried bringing in as much as I could in the box art. We have the black tips and the black kitty. This could actually be one of my newer characters, Ink Blob. My black cat that I like to draw is often featured as a witchy little kitty, so this is probably Ink Blob. So yeah, this will be the front cover of the paintbrush box, but then there will also be an inside cover on the inside of the lid. And I first thought we could just use this part and then have the logos next to it, but it felt a little repetitive having the same art on the inside as on the outside. Didn't really have time to make something new. But then when going through some art to put on Redbubble, I found this, which I had sort of forgot about. And this is one of the art that I made for a Patreon exclusive print. And this is sort of perfect because it is basically the same little cat. It is really the perfect match. It is painted with the same paints on the same paper and everything. The flowers are almost the same and the colors and everything. So yeah, I don't know how I forgot about this, and I'm very happy that I found it on time so we could actually use this as the inside cover for the box. And look how well the purple is matching and the wood color is sort of matching too. And we got the teal. So this will be the outside cover of the box and this will be the inside cover. Also for the outside cover, I don't know if you can see it, but there will be little gold foil stars and sparkles all over, which I think will be so cute. Oh, this will be so gorgeous. I can't wait to see it in real. So yeah, my little custom brush set is coming together and I'm so excited. And also, if you would like to get my brush set once it's released, you can head over to Craftamo's website to get more information about the brush set, but also you can sign up to get notified once the brush set is released. I highly recommend you to do so. I will have a link in the description. Alright, so let's do a little unboxing. So this was sent to me by Etchr. I've done a few collaborations with them in the past, and now they reached out to me and asked me if I would like to try one of their portable palettes and sketchbooks. Not sponsored or no strings attached or anything. I didn't have to make a video, but I thought it could be a fun little addition to the vlog. So we have the portable pocket palette. Got a pin. Oh, look at that, so cute. A little llama. And we got the sketchbook. They have a bunch of different sketchbooks in different sizes and formats. I went with a square one with hot pressed paper. So let's check it out. Here I have all the different features for this specific sketchbook. It has a very nice sort of canvas cover. It looks very nice and luxurious, but this is definitely gonna get dirty, so... Oh, that is nice and smooth paper. I've always been into cold pressed paper with a lot more texture, but recently I've been really into the smoother texture. So also with smoother texture, it is easier to use mixed media, like if you would like to add some color pencils or fine liners or stuff like that. The smoother texture isn't interfering as much with those kinds of mediums, not as much as a heavier textured paper would. I actually haven't tried any of the sketchbooks from Etchr before, so I'm really looking forward to try this. I think these could be paper samples. Maybe. We have some different hot pressed and cold pressed paper. We got the hot pressed one, and then we got 3 different cold pressed with different levels of texture. Then we have the portable pocket palette, which I would love to show you if I can get it out of the box. There we go. Ooh, that is cute. We got some magnets. And it looks like we have a stack of different palettes. We have 2 different mixing trays and a paint palette with space for 7 watercolor half pans. And everything is stuck together using magnets. Then you can just move everything around. We have the paint palette and we can stick it to the lid. And then we have the mixing trays over at the other end. So yeah, that is super convenient. Then when you're done painting, you can just stick them together and close the lid. And I'm pretty sure that the spare magnets is for their porcelain mixing cups, which I also have. This one, which is slightly used. So I'm pretty sure that these porcelain trays also fits in here, like so. Yeah, look at that. So I think that is what you can use the magnets for. If you already have the porcelain mixing trays, you can attach the magnets to them and they will stick in the tray too. It even says on the box here that it is compatible with the Etchr mini palette. So yeah, you can use them together if you want to. So that is very nifty. I like that sort of thinking. And again, not sponsored or anything, but if you're interested or curious in their products, I will have the links below. Yeah, thank you so much to Etchr. Again, a big thank you for all your orders, and I'm very sorry that the shipping isn't open to the Americans yet, but I'm keeping all my fingers and all my toes crossed that it will be open again in time for the holiday update. I haven't received any updates or any information or anything from the Swedish Postal Service. They aren't very generous with the communication with their customers, but yeah. Wait and see. And I have my little wire ring on to keep myself reminded that Sally is outside. You don't know how many times I forgot that. But this is so I will remember to let her in. Anyway, we got the first order, which is for Janine from Germany. And they want one of each of the Galaxy Kitty stickers. Oh, look at that rainbow. We got the Artsy Kitty sticker, Nope Kitty, Love Cats, and B-grade Cat Mask Tree, Book Cat, and Inner Nature. And I think that is all for the stickers. And they also want the calendar bundle, which is one big calendar and one small. They also want the print bundle from the 2025 calendar. And lastly, the B-grade print of Kit the Kitty Explorer in the Birch Forest. It's quite a big order. Thank you so much, Janine. For this, we get one of the big boxes. Thinking maybe I should put the prints and the stickers in the bottom. And I put a little piece of washi tape to keep it all in place because I'm putting the calendar on the top and I don't want the prints and stickers to slide in under the spiral binding, the coil or whatever it's called. I put a piece of tape to keep it in place, and I think I can put tissue paper between the big and the small. And we got the little thank you note and the freebie sticker. Thank you so much, Janine. So the next one is for Rusa from Finland. They want one of the bookcase bookmarks, Cuddly Cat sticker, and also one of the big calendars. Thank you, Rusa. Then the next order is for Marisa from Switzerland, and they want one of the Witch's bookcase and the magical classroom print, and they also want one of the Black Galaxy kitties and a big calendar. Thank you, Marisa. Then we have Paola from Italy that wants one of the big calendars too. Thank you, Paola. This is for Sandra from Germany. One of the bookcase bookmarks and the book tracker bookmark, Nope Kitty and Galaxy Cat stickers, and also a small calendar. The small calendars are definitely not as popular as the big ones, but I was kind of expecting that, so I didn't order as many of the small calendars as I did of the big ones. Last time I actually ordered more of the small calendars and less of the big ones, but then it turned out that the big ones were way more popular, so that is something that I learned from last time. Sandra, thank you so much. We can do one more, and this one is actually for one of my Patreons, Kayla, all the way from the other side of the world, New Zealand. They want one of the to-do notepads, this one, and also the Shimmery Flower Meadow bookmark and a big calendar. And Kayla is a member of the male cat tier over at my Patreon, so I'm actually also gonna include their print and sticker reward, which I have prepared. Thank you, Kayla. So it's been a couple of days and I've caught a cold. Another one, I can't believe it. I'm pretty sure though that it is more than a cold because I had a cold only a couple of weeks ago and my throat is hurting a lot more now, and also I'm running a slight fever, it feels like, and I usually don't get a fever from a regular cold, so I'm pretty sure that what I'm having right now is COVID, which I've had a couple of times now, and it's usually not that bad, not this time anyway. I'm actually feeling pretty well, I'm feeling okay. My husband works as a teacher, so he usually drags home all kinds of colds and stuff. Fun. Not exactly what I needed right now because I got work to do. Good thing though that I don't really have a very physically demanding work. I will just have to drink a lot of tea for my throat and take breaks whenever I need to. I had a very slow and relaxing morning on the couch with a kitty and a cup of tea watching Outlander, so I'll be trying to take it a little slow. But yeah, I got a little update regarding shipping to the US. I haven't been able to ship orders to the US for 2 months now, but now today, this morning, I read that the Swedish Postal Service has opened up shipping to the US again, which are great news. However, I will still need a little time before I can open up my shop to the American customers again, because now when shipping to the US, I, as the sender, will have to pay all the tariff cost in advance for the receiver, also called DDP, Delivery Duty Paid. That is a fee that I will have to incorporate into the shipping cost of the product that I'm shipping to the US. So yeah, I will be able to ship to the US again, but also unfortunately the shipping cost for the American customers will probably be a little higher, so I will have to edit all the existing and add new shipping profiles on Etsy. The only thing that is stopping me right now is that I don't know how much the fee is. I will probably have to do a little more research, and that is something that I'm not gonna do today because I will probably need my full brain capacity for that, but I'm gonna try to do it as soon as possible so I can open up for the American customers again right in time for the Black Friday sales and the holidays. But again, that is a project for another day. Today I'm gonna work on some shop stuff, and also I have a video that is due to next week, and also of course Kattober. Even if I fell a little behind there at one point, I'm still really enjoying this year's challenge, and I'm loving working with the Black India ink. And yeah, this is the art that you saw me working on, which is the prompt crumbs, which is a little hard to say now when I've got a stuffed nose, but this one turned out super cute. Yesterday's prompt was uncomfortable, and I absolutely love how this one turned out. A little grumpy kitty. But yeah, I got a few things that I need to check off my to-do list, so I better get started. So as you might remember that I mentioned in a previous vlog when talking about the art supplies that I'm using for the Kattober challenge, that I'm going to use the Viviva watercolor sketchbook, which I've used previously for doing Kattober and for watercolor art, and it's been working great. I absolutely loved that sketchbook. So this is exactly the same sketchbook as I've been using before, but I noticed pretty quickly when doing the ink wash that it just behaved really weird. It's like the ink was just absorbed really fast by the papers. Usually the paper do absorb the paint or ink eventually, but you want it to be sitting on top of the surface for a little while so you can at least move it around and paint with it. This is really thick paper, but look at the backside. The ink has bled through. It is so strange. And I did a test at the back of the book, and here you can also see that the ink is bleeding through the paper and I didn't even apply that much ink. What I really like doing when working with India ink is adding water to the paper and let the ink spread in the water. I couldn't even do that here because the paper just sucked up all the water immediately. So yeah, I am actually a little disappointed, to be honest. I love Viviva and their products, but I don't know what happened to their sketchbooks, though they still seem to work great with regular ink pens and fine liners and probably color pencils and paint pens as well, but with liquid inks and watercolors, maybe not so much. So yeah, I will still be able to use the sketchbook, I just have to use it for something else. And of course I thought about using the new Etchr sketchbook, which I did actually receive before Kattober started. It is a watercolor sketchbook, it would probably be perfect, but unfortunately it only got 52 pages. 52 pages means the front side and the back side, so there's only 26 sheets in total. 31 days will be 31 drawing, 32 counting the title page, and since I like to draw on one side of the page only, 52 pages is simply not enough pages. So I panicked just a little because I needed a sketchbook for the Kattober challenge and the challenge had already started, so I didn't really have time to order a new one, but luckily, since I'm a hoarder, I had other options. So this is actually a sketchbook from Arteza that I got from a collaboration many years ago, and it has just been laying in one of my drawers waiting for the perfect occasion. So this is more of a drawing kind of paper, not really watercolor, but it has actually been working really well because the paper is a little thicker, so it can actually handle the wet mediums pretty well, even though it is warping a little. And I post all my Kattober art over at Instagram, Patreon and Facebook, so if you want to see more you can follow me there. And this year my Kattober art is featuring Ink Blob the kitty, which is what I call my main little cat here. So I'm currently planning to order some new stickers and sticker sheets, and I think it would be a lot of fun making a whole sticker sheet or maybe just a regular sticker set with Ink Blob the kitty. I think it would be a lot of fun drawing them in a bunch of different shapes and moods. I think that would be very cute. What do you say? You are my own little Ink Blob kitty, leaving ink paw prints all over the place. Yeah, I think a little black cat sticker set or sticker sheet would be cute. Also, this thing, the Etchr mirror, which I made a video about many years ago. It may seem like a gimmicky thing. It has actually been super helpful for my Kattober art because I make all my sketches digitally. I mean, I could do all the sketching directly in the sketchbook, but I'm a very messy sketcher. I do a lot of sketching and a lot of erasing, and that is why I find it so much easier and fun to sketch digitally. And usually when doing the digital sketches and I want to have the sketches traditionally drawn, I can just trace the sketches directly from the iPad screen, or if I put it on my computer screen I can just trace it. But that is a little trickier when you want to draw in a sketchbook and you can't really put the paper on top of the iPad screen or the computer monitors. That is why this thing is perfect, because you put the tablet with the sketch facing this plastic screen here, and the sketch will be mirrored onto the screen, and then you can trace it onto the paper, which is super nifty, just like this. It isn't as visible when there's a lot of lights on, and then I can just trace the lines, so I can make all my sketches as messy as I want digitally, and then I can just transfer them and make them clean traditionally. And yeah, this is not sponsored or an ad or anything, but this is the same Etchr brand as the at the sketchbook and the paint palette as I unboxed in the beginning of the videos. So I thought I would just give them an extra little shout out. I don't even know if they still carries the Etchr mirror in their shop, but if you remember me making a video of this thing, I want to mention that I still find it quite useful, maybe not for bigger artworks, but for transferring smaller sketches it is perfect. So I have a bunch of these small 2025 calendars left, so I'm gonna do what I've done previously to some of these, and that is cut out all the art and then I make little print bundles. The ones that I've already made have sold out, so I'm gonna make some more. In that way I can get rid of some of them. So a little update. So it turns out that there is actually a way to set different prices for the same product on Etsy, which I just remembered that you can actually do. Raising the price of the actual product for people buying from the US would be so much easier and also more exact than changing the shipping cost. The only problem right now though is that I can only set the price for domestic shipping and everywhere else, but I don't want to change the cost for everyone else. I just want to change the cost for the US customers, so that is kind of a problem. So I did actually contact Etsy about this. I just wanted to check if there is actually an option for this or if it is being worked on, and they replied back to me that there already is or should be. US specific pricing will be rolled out to sellers outside of the US between October 20 and 27, and today when I'm filming this it is the 27th, so it might be that my shop hasn't been updated with the new features yet. But yeah, it will be so great that I can change the price for the item and not have to mess with the shipping, because I'm aware of that people would much rather pay more for the item than paying more for the shipping, even if it is the same cost. Yeah, hopefully sometime in early November my shop will be open for everyone once again. And in the middle of everything I realized that it is high time to make the Patreon exclusive art for October. I've been so busy with other art projects, but yeah, this is that. I can turn it around so you can see it a little better. A little scene inspired by the autumn Knights. We got a little kitty. This might be Ink Blob too. They're featured in all my art now. A few weeks ago at one of our evening walks, I took this photo. I don't know, it is just something with a street light, the bushes, the fence, and the vines climbing up the street light, and the dark background. I just think I like the contrast and the mysterious feeling. There was something with it that I found inspiring, so I took a photo to remember it, and I didn't draw it exactly the same as in the photo, but I used it as an inspiration, and I added the little kitty, and I made a street light a little more antique looking, and we have the vines climbing up, and I used more of a painterly kind of style. I didn't use any line art or anything, and it was just so much fun working on this piece. So if you would like to get this as a physical print and a sticker, you can sign up for the male cat tier over at my Patreon. It will also be available as a digital downloadable print, so head over to my Patreon for that. But yeah, that is all for this time. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for all your orders. I will keep you updated on my social medias once I open up for the US customers again, which will hopefully be very soon. And I'm gonna take a break now, gonna grab some tea, and I will see you next time. Keep drawing, my happy cats. Bye!